Everyday siya kung dumating. Kaya parang institusyon na siya dito sa area namin. Minsan, sobrang late na. Andun pa rin si Manong Fishball.
Ginagabi kayo, Manong!
Enrollment eh.
After some time, yung kariton ni Manong Fishball nadagdagan ng may bike.
Hanggang kabilang kalye, nagtitinda na rin kayo, Manong?
Pang notebook.
Sunod na taon, pati menu nadagdagan.
Nax, may squid balls na!
Mahal kasi ang lapis. May kick ka pa dyan.
Bilib na bilib ako kay Manong Fishball. Akalain mong yung maliit niyang kariton, napalaki niya ng ganun? Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Manong, anong grade na ba yung anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tao.
Good afternoon, Summoners. This is, of course, the University Alliance Cup Season 3 featuring Wild Rift, and we're going to our Division A games, and we'll be your shoutcasters for this first two games of that. I'm Hyron. With me still is Infinity, and I hope you're all having a good day because now it's going to get bloody with UST, University of Santa Tomas Stella Tigers, versus PUP, Polytechnic University of the Philippines Cerberus Ultimate. You may know them as Pylon, I believe, from the previous season, and now they are having a very good game here against Sage last week. Now they're going to face off against UST, who had a completely different performance from last season. They beat out CPU, which 3-0'd them in the previous season. Now they're going to get into some very good games here against PUP.
Yeah, and this is what I love. Like the back and forth between teams, the underdogs uprising as a storyline overall, especially here in collegiate scene where dreams are born for pro and for students alike here. And I'm excited, Hyron. I'm excited for the next series to come. Is this going to be another dominant one, or are we going straight to maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes game?
Yeah, the way that UST played, right? Like, seems like they were really able to bring out the best in their roster from the previous season, because a lot of the players that they had from the previous season they retained for this season of UAC. So and the same with CPU, right, which UST faced and won against when they were 0-3 against them in the previous season's playoffs. So this tells me that UST is of course that prestigious organization that can bring out the best, can squeeze out all of the talent from each of their players. So I'm really expecting a good performance for them. And of course, yung Bardagulan segment natin with a double A for AcadArena. What's the best start for a former Division B team? So yeah, I think right now I have to say it's WVSU, right? Against TUP Gearhawks. Because Gearhawks, they went pretty high in they went to the quarterfinals and lost to UST, and then WVSU beat them out in the first week, no? And compared to the others like Haribons, LG Gaia didn't really have a strong showing, and Sage as well didn't have too strong of a showing. Meanwhile, WVSU and TUP were definitely closer matches, and they showed very well that they were able to eke out a victory from a close game. What
Yeah,
about you, Infinite?
definitely. Yeah, I think the same thing. I think I reverberate your thoughts because when you're looking at the games, when you're looking at the kill standings, right? With that alone, 25-17 for Leviathans against Gearhawks, very, very close, only a difference of 8. But coming down onto AdMove versus PLM and PUP versus USA, it has a bit more of a margin when it comes to the kill standings. It has a bit more of a lead here for one
The
team.
best performing Dragon Laner so far. Continue natin yung Bardagulan natin. Walang break dito. Of course, we see lots of high KDAs here. But I'm going to have to give it to Shino. On the Varus, it's very hard to make the Varus work. Despite how strong it is, and going a perfect game 6-0-13. It's not just about the stats. His performance in the actual games, if you watch the VODs, dun sa AcadArena YouTube, yung game ng How, his positioning was perfect. His piercing arrows were perfect. He knew when to back off and use piercing arrow. He knew when to go in and start auto attacking to stack up the blight stacks. Shino just played those games perfectly.
Yeah, you're reading my mind, Hiron. You're
Oh,
reading my mind. I'm looking at Shino as well because
Mhm,
when I'm
mhm,
looking at it, I think mechanically Varus doesn't really have any escape route. Doesn't really
mhm,
have any escape skills at all when you're comparing it to Ezreal, compare it to Tristana, Zaya, right? He doesn't have killer instinct to go back away to go into the backside, right? So I think
mhm.
mechanically Shino with the Varus, very very hard champion to use, and he played it perfectly with zero deaths in that game.
And of course, number three, most likely to happen this week, LG getting their first win, or CPU Golden Lions going for their second loss here. CPU went all the way to the finals in the previous season of UAC, and they're still bringing mostly the same roster. Meanwhile, LG, they have Berserk now in their roster. That was very storied man leading the charge here for Admu. So, what do you think is Admu gonna get their first win this week, or is CPU gonna go 0-2?
I think we're going for LG getting their first win. I think
Oh,
I
really?
believe. I
You're reading my
believe.
mind. You're reading my mind, Infinity. You're reading. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think CP. It's not likely. It's two things, right? CPU is not likely to go 0-2. I think they have a very strong roster. They had the first week blues.
Mhm,
Plus, I believe I have faith in the LG brand. I have faith not only in LG as an organization being able to recover well from an early loss like that, but I believe in Ferzerk's leadership in there as
mhm.
well. And best performing junglers so far, both of them played perfect games. Is it going to be Pylon Cerberus aggressive, or is it going to be Creep? Hmm.
Best performing jungler. This is very hard to tell
Yeah,
because
very
these two champions are both different, right?
good. Hmm.
Because Lee
Hmm.
Sin, as CRB Aggressive's name states, is an aggressive early game champion, and Olaf is a mid game champion. So either way, it is both strong, but I'm more leaning towards Lee Sin because
Hmm.
I think it has more effect in the early game.
Not much bardagulan here because Infinity and I have like the same opinions on everything. But yeah, I hope you guys are also like making noise in the comment section about these as well, because I also think that aggressive, she, of course, it's a lot harder to make Lee Sin have a perfect game than it is to have Olaf have a perfect game, because you can snowball really easily with Olaf and just dive in. And yes, he was able to give a lot of pressure, aggressive pressure in the team fights and in the laning phase, but aggressive was able to get that, run it through, perfect execution on the Lee Sin. Most likely to end the week with a 2-0 win. Which one do you think is it gonna be? Because I think, okay, I think it's gonna be Admu 2-0 today. 2-0.
Ah, okay.
That's how much I believe. That might be where we differ.
Well, yeah, I think it would be different because I believe it will be Leviathans. I think it will be
Mm,
WVSU who will take it into a,
okay.
a 2-0 win, most
Mm,
likely by the end of the week.
Yeah, very, very strong team so far, and we are going to be seeing them play today as well. Yeah, later against, I believe, USA. So what? Let's
Yeah.
get into our game here for first game for Division A this week. Tigers from University of Santo Tomas versus Pylon Cerberus Ultimate from Polytechnic University of the Philippines. We'll see more aggressive plays from their jungler as well. Immediately, the respect ban on the Lee Sin here. Of course, it's a strong jungler, but of course, it's a pocket pick here by aggressive.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Lee Sin, by the way, though, removes the potential for aggressive. We talked about this a while ago. Aggressive with a very strong Lee Sin,
Mhm,
clean game. Now removed at the table in the jungle role.
mhm. So we're gonna have to see what other champions are in her pool here as well. Lulu being banned out here. We know that Choti was one of our Dragon Lane competitors for best Dragon Laner for week one, and I think Shoti was number two there. Because he plays a very, very strong game, but a lot of it is also a factor in Yanni, right? Um, yeah, in the last season as well. I'll double check who his support was in last season, but Shoti definitely a powerhouse, and you want to deny him that kind of support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the support role is very, very important as well to scale out the ADCs. But now, we're looking at the second ban rotations here for both teams, Riven and Nuno and Willem. So we're really targeting onto the jungle roles here, with Riven maybe on the fringe edge, on playing on the jungle role, more likely on the Baron, but really, really strong as a champion overall. So removing it away is, I think, a very clever move here by Tele Tigers. We don't want to fight up against it. We're gonna remove it.
Definitely. And right here, Camille. So they're really targeting Kuya Fall here. And I think that's smart. Because Kuya Fall's Riven on top of Aggressive's Lee Sin is kind of that solo lane plus jungler duo that really let Cerberus Ultimate get ahead of the competition. Like the Camille goes in, so does the Lee Sin, right? And that's a very easy setup for a pickoff. Here they take away the Camille, they take away the Riven, and they take away the Lee Sin as well. So they're attacking Cerberus's strongest points here. Oh,
Mhm.
Ziggs was open. Ziggs wasn't
Yeah,
banned.
and they pick it up immediately. And now the question is this going to be a Ziggs ADC or Ziggs mid lane? And I think it's much more favorable to the mid lane, but I cannot revert the idea of Ziggs going to the Dragon lane as well. But however, into Cerberus Ultimate, you have Rakan, you have Kha'Zix. They want to go for that aggressive
Mhm,
player, and even Rakan as the peel for um Terror later on in the Dragon lane. So I think this is looking very aggressive for
mhm.
Cerberus Ultimate.
Kaiser threatening the skill matchup here in the Baron lane side. If Kuya Fall goes for something like Aurelia, this is just straight up gonna be who gets the better jungle pressure and also who is just better mechanically, right? So it's gonna be the question of Kaiser versus Kuya Fall in that top side. If Kuya Fall goes for something like an Aurelia, we've only seen one champion so far. Of course, is this only their second game in Division A. Senna, if this gets picked up, I feel like this is very characteristic of Teletigers, but Nami just very very safe. Just pick up
Yeah.
the Nami here and good enchanter support. Already denied the Lulu. This pretty much means the Service Ultimate has to go for a lesser, like a less value enchanter or a an initiator support here. J4 gonna get picked up by Cerberus Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, a good thing for Cerberus Ultimate, because when we're looking at it so far, they haven't picked up mid lane, they haven't picked up ADC. They want that safety net. We cannot bring this out as of yet because you have the potential to counter it. So we're going to pick up jungle, we're going to pick up Baron, and also support role so we can adjust later on. But for now, the bans are going to be Lucian and Zaya for both teams.
Ooh, so they're targeting here the marksmen here, the dragon laners. At this point, I do think that banning away the Zaya from the team that has the Rakan, and of course, it's not just the Rakan combo, but also the J4, right? You're stuck in that cataclysm. You're gonna eat all of those bladed feathers there from the blade collar. So
Mhm.
Olaf being taken away here from Milo. You want to make sure that no one can counter jungle against aggressive here. I like the pickup, denies them Olaf here, though I guess they just don't want to face it because I've seen some teams let the Olaf through and let the J4 deal with it with the Cataclysm, but the Corki being bad here against either Ther or Synthencia is also a very good pickup here from Teletigers. Diana being locked in, good combo with J4.
Yeah. I was hoping that Cerberus Ultimate pick up an ADC first, because Zaya, Corki, and Lucian was already banned, maybe Kaisa. But they hovered into Diana. I think they really want that safety net for the ADC. Maybe surprise attack, tell the Tigers on this one. But Kennen, being the fourth pick by
Mhm.
UST, is an
Ooh.
interesting pick. I think it is an underrated champion that can
Mhm.
bring in the tides in their favor. But the problem with Kennen is just the difficulty in successfully bringing that
Mhm.
ultimates in those team fights.
I do think combined with the Nami, it's actually pretty good. You get the speed boost, like you get like a buff, or you get healed ebb and flow. You easier time getting in as well. And if you're stuck in the Thunderdome in the Cataclysm with the Diana and the Jarvan, of course you can just go in with the Slicing Maelstrom, and it really depends on. We're gonna have to see what kind of let's see what kind of boost enchantment he goes with, right? It goes for the stasis or goes for the proto belt to just try to go in for the gap closer, right? So we're gonna have to see how that goes for him. The Varus plus Rakan very good combo there as well. It's a little bit safe and pokey, but can go all in when needed. And the cannon here, that's going to be the really big, uh, really big contentious thing here for TGR.
Mhm. And now I think it is, yeah, I was expecting Kennen to go for the ADC or maybe Ziggs because there is no other way to look at it. It cannot
Mhm.
be Renekton bot lane, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Renekton bot lane, that will be interesting. But for now, I think when it comes to the early game, Varus will have the advantage.
Mhm.
Why? Kennen doesn't really have the longest range
Yeah.
in the Dragon Lane specifically, especially up against Rakan, which is very aggressive with the Grand Entrance in the first couple of minutes. So I think it will be a very hard time for Shotty. But at level
Mhm.
5, this will change things up for Kennen.
Mhm. Definitely being able to get that slicing maelstrom in, especially with okay, so Milo on the Fiora isn't really going to be the ganking heavyweight compared to other junglers. Is most likely just going to look for opportunistic overextended ganks or ganks against overextended laners, or just go to power farm and get that XP and gold in his favor. But here, Shoti's gonna really have to work hard to make this lane safe for himself, because he's not gonna expect a lot of help from Milo.
Yeah. I like this. I like this. This is classic Wild Rift.
Mhm.
Fiora
Yeah,
going to the
definitely.
jungle, Kennen coming into the rift. I love to see these champions coming up once again, but here on the bot side,
Okay, Shodi already taking a couple shots here, and it's so punishing to get poked out early in Wild Rift compared to like League PC, because the minions just spawn in so fast. But yeah, once again, contesting the early clear on the wave here I think it's gonna end up basically even, with Lazuli getting a little bit of an advantage here just because he's ranged. But it's pretty much even at this point, going back to their lanes. Junglers starting on opposite sides of the map. Nothing too crazy going on, but Shoti's definitely at a big disadvantage here.
and this is what we're talking about a while ago, right?
Mhm.
Especially in the draft, in the early game, Shotty will not really have the greatest time in the early game in the rift. And now it's coming into fruition. He doesn't have that rage to pick off one, and when it comes to Rakan and Varus, he's just gonna get picked up consistently time and time again. And I want to set up a foundation before we continue
Mhm.
maybe into the mid game, late game, when it comes to PUP having a poke composition, because when we're looking at it, you have Rakan, you have Kha'Zix, you have Varus. And I think they want that pick-off rather than team fight. And UST want team
Mhm.
fights later on with Ziggs, with Nami, and Kennen. So I think these are the drastic contrasts between both teams coming into draft in game 1.
Yeah. The good thing here for PUP though is, depending on their positioning, right, they could be the ones to go for a team fight instead. Let's say they catch UST off guard, like the Shoti's out of position. Kuyafall has a good in, and Draken also has a good in as well. They could just go for a straight up 5v5, 5v5. While, say, Milo, okay, 5v4 even if Milo is going for the split push later in the game. We're gonna have to see though.
Yeah. But for now, it's just the Rift Cutter contest for both teams. They don't want to go for the all-in here. The PUP.
Could go for it.
Okay,
Straight to Shodi here. Grand Entrance not going to come in just yet. That's going to be Sensation taking a lot of damage here. Good bubble to take down third, but that's going to be a double man. That's going to be a two-man Grand Entrance here. Milo surviving with a sliver of HP, but he's going to get taken down. There comes in for the shots. Able to get that 1 for 3, and PUP get a very nice bunch of gold for themselves. Let's break down how that went wrong here for UST.
Yeah. It I think is just PUP having the initial damage set in, because when we're looking at it, right, it was Milo very low already when that started, and Lazuli after doesn't really have any more peel after, and Shotty as well. Where in fact PUP just have Varus. Remember that damage from the piercing arrow is huge when it comes to the early game as well. So I
Yeah.
think at that, it was just devastating for UST. They cannot fight this early. They need that level 5.
Yeah, and then added to the fact that they were all bunched up, so Shoti cannot deal with AoEs before level 5. Meanwhile, the piercing arrows, the hail of arrows, both of the piercing arrows and hail of arrows both deal with crowds quite well, and UST was quite bunched up. I think Koyafall is comfortable in this top side. He doesn't need to get a big lead. He just needs to stay even against the Renekton here and keep it in check. And actually, I think right now he's out laning Kaiser right now, forcing himself to go for the honey fruit here. But of course, it's a lane bully, and that's what I said. Slice Ruthless Predator, call the Meek, dice out is a very classic combo here. But I think Kuya Paul is okay with that.
I mean, as a Jarvan 4, right? You only have to go for the flag. Flag, give off damage, go for pokes. You don't really necessarily have to jump in on those team fights or even jump in onto Renekton, because if you jump in, you're just gonna get stunned, you're gonna get bursted down. So I think that will be the ideal situation for a Jarvan 4 in the Baron lane in an individual matchup.
Breaks up here, and this could be dangerous. So Milo gonna take a lot of damage from here, going in with a swiftness as well. Goes in for the Moonfall, catch 3. That's gonna be Yanni taking a lot of damage, healing though, but now left behind is gonna be Sententia as UST stabilizes. All of the damage focused on the Nami here instead of the other important targets from this UST. They're starting the Drake though. I don't think this is the best call that they can make. They're cornering themselves. Their flashes are just about to be up, but good poke coming in from Lazuli to be a deterrent from PUP. This is, in the end, going to be a 50-50 though. Actually, no, it's going to be aggressive saber, but that's going to be the fight starting. Slicing Muslims coming through. He is the storm that is approaching and provoking. Shodi finishes off the kill here against the Varus. So that's what they were all setting up for. Good poke from Lazuli, followed up with a great all in there coming in from Shoti.
Yeah, and let's look at a replay here. I think PUP was waiting patiently, but because of the Ziggs bombs a while ago, PUP's HP were all down to half, even lower than that. And when they jumped in, you have AoE damage from Lazuli, you have AoE from Shotty, and at that, they got the Cloud Dragon, but at the cost of 4 members in that team fight alone.
And I don't think Cloud Drake in Wild Rift, it's still not the premium Cloud Drake. It's still not the premium Drake that you give up a couple of kills for. This pretty much allows UST to stabilize from the earlier First Blood as well. Now that they earn their power spikes, they are able to be more confident. They do give up the Rift Herald here, but the thing is, the Rift Herald isn't guaranteed value, right? You have to make it work so that you get a turret from it for it to be worth it. Otherwise, you're just giving XP over to the opposing team when they kill it.
Yeah. Well, at that sense, yes, but it still gives you 300 gold for the champion that takes it. So I think at the very least, you have that gold boost to alleviate some of the disadvantage, especially for PUP that lost 4 members subsequently in that team fight, or in that prior team fight. So I think, nevertheless, PUP got the Rift Herald for that, and also the potential for Tower First Blood, for the potential to gain those towers, to gain those golds in this early game, because this is what they are after. Because later on in mid game, late game, it's all about team fights, and when that team fights happen, it's not looking that great.
For sure. So right now, with both teams kind of even, the next big fight is probably going to be them looking to take down a turret. For UST, they've been kind of poking at the defenses. Oh, that's huge damage from the Duskblade empowered piercing arrow. Aggressive gonna try and go for Milo here. Is gonna get pushed out, and I think that pretty much gives control over this bot lane fight here to PUP. So they will be the ones that can threaten this turret. Good thing it's at 100%. If it was 30%, I would expect PUP to go full all in on it, and UST won't be able to respond. But now the wave is okay for UST. They've delayed the push enough. The problem is PUP is still looking for something with that deep vision to see if anyone's near around to go for the dive.
And PUP is just waiting onto the bot side. They really don't want to let UST be free farming in the bot lane. And
that's why I was saying earlier, go for the dive right there. Now with Shoti without the Nami, is gonna be very, very vulnerable here. PUP gets that 2 kills. Most likely they're gonna get the turret right here. So they already get value from that Rift Herald that they got earlier, plus those 2 kills as well. Lazuli taking a lot of damage. Satchel Charge not gonna come through on the right target, or the right location rather. Lazuli's playing with fire here, staying isolated. But I think PUP is going to be satisfied with those 2 kills and the turret and going to back off. They do trade the top turret as well, as that's where Milo was. So in the end, it's still kind of even, but aggressive. She's starting to ramp up as well.
And I think there's also an important or significant thing that we need to take note. Lazuli is on Ziggs, and Ziggs is the best siege champion available in the Rift right now to destroy turrets. So what UST only needs to do in this early game to gain those turrets down is to bring it down to 20-25% HP, and you can easily take it. So I think at this point in time, Tele Tigers just have to pressure, control the lanes, and get that advantage.
They don't have Slicing Maelstrom yet for this Drake fight, so this could be bad for UST, but they're gonna have to delay basically. Oh, Milo gonna come in as well. In comes the quickness, no follow-up just yet. That's gonna be Shodi coming in with a Slicing Maelstrom right there, picks off Sentencia, and that's gonna be Milo chasing down there. Do they have the peel for him? No, he backs off. That's just gonna be another Drake taken for 1 kill. I think PUP is happy with that, but they are gonna lose control over this mid turret. UST, they do have the Ziggs right here. The wave is kind of thin. They're gonna have to wait all the way back. This is good for PUP. 1 kill, I think, is definitely worth it to get that second Drake. They do lose another turret here, though.
At the very least, thankfully enough, it's not the Infernal Dragon for now. But the next one would be. Look at the mid lane, though.
Yeah, I don't think they want to go in on that. They do have wards over seeing Milo. They don't want to dive that Ziggs any further. Another Rift Herald gonna come up as well, and now there's no ults for UST. Meanwhile, Cataclysm is available for Kuya Fall, and the Chain of Corruption as well. I think UST might just give this. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, they don't have Tidal Wave, they don't have Slicing Maelstrom, which is very, very important in those team fights if they don't have it. Especially with the enemy team with Rakan, it's so difficult to bring them down. So I think that is much more clever for Tele Tigers. You know what? Let's respect it. We cannot contest the Rift Herald. We're gonna leave it. We're just gonna wait patiently for the ultimates to come up and wait for team fights.
I guess they're letting PUP get those Rift Heralds not only because they don't have the ultis for it, but it's kind of a debt. It's a turret debt. PUP can take these turrets with the Rift Herald, but since USC has the Ziggs, they're confident that they can pay it back later in the game. But here, so far, no clear person in the driver's seat. No clear team in the driver's seat. Zuli, though, nice satchel charge there. Aggressive, going into the wrong direction here. That's going to be the wave catching him as well on top of the dunk from the Mega Inferno Bomb. That's going to be Yanni getting out of dodge with the Slicing Maelstrom coming through vacant halls. They won't surrender. That's going to be the Tele Tigers picking up even more kills. That's going to be 3 for 0 plus the turret mid lane most likely. But in comes the dunk, trying to take down Shodi. He does finish the mission, but they're still probably going to lose this turret as well. GA gets popped, and that's going to be a good gold injection here from UST. That's going to be 4K up. Look at that.
And let's look at the replay at that. And what was surprising for me is Yanni survived and PUP did not. Wherein PUP was the one who initiated, but Tele Tigers, as we keep on stating, when they have the ultimates, when they have this advantage of coming into fighting in this close area, they have the advantage.
Definitely, because they can just brawl it out. They have Lazuli. If there's a brawl happening in front of him, he's happy just chucking those bombs in. And Shoti, yes, he can get bursted down before the Slicing Maelstrom gets full value, but they're gonna keep going here as well, having to leap away, leave Draken to the wolves here, but they're gonna get flanked. Milo taking a lot of damage here, able to riposte well. He's gonna come in with a moonfall. Gonna get 2, but in comes from downtown once again Shodi. Got them apple bottom jeans, and that's gonna get him a triple kill with that Slicing Maelstrom right there, extending the gold lead to 9K. They do shut the wave bot lane, but that's not gonna mean much as Lazuli is threatening to take this second tier Baron lane turret here, right here, extending the wealth lead of UST even more.
Magnificent play from Tele Tigers at that, but even then, I want to commend how PUP played that, because initially they removed Tele Tigers in that setup, and Diana with that moonfall was phenomenal. But the problem was there was low HP already for Cerberus ultimate. They cannot follow up the damage and the setup from Diana, wherein that was the source of the failure. That was the source of their downfall when it comes to that team fight. And Tele Tigers, time and time again, is showing up big time in those 5v5s.
Yeah, they have to be mindful of where Shoti is. Because so far, every single one of their team fight losses has been because of the Slicing Maelstrom. Mega Inferno Bomb gonna come in as well. It is gonna get not stolen here, but Kuya Fall is gonna be falling here to the damage of UC Tele Tigers now. Their position has been routed. PUP has to retreat. 3 members down. Fair. Oh no, he's next on the chopping block. There's no way he's getting out of here, and I think he's gonna get some shock therapy here from Shodi. played a little bit cheeky with the Zhonya's enchant, but it's not going to be happening. That's going to be more kills for UST. But once again, PUP, they're investing into the Drake stacks here, but the gold lead is just ballooning for UST.
Yeah. Shoti's killer instincts is turned on. He has the sense of, I find it, I smell blood, and I will take it. And time again right now, Tigers 19 kills already, and they are not yet done. They're taking tier 2 turrets away from Cerberus ultimate, and Baron Nashor is alive. Who will take this can potentially finish the game.
Yeah, I mean, right now for UST, their Baron taking potential is kind of decent. They do have Milo on the Bork as well. Kaiser is just going for the bruisery type of build instead of something like Bork, like we saw in our previous Renekton's in Division B. So they can't really start it too much. They have to either bait out and then turn, or just pressure the side waves very hard with Kaiser.
And right now, what I'm thinking about is because of Shoti, right? We keep on talking about Shoti, but you just have to look at the kill standing. 8 kills, 10 assists. That's like 98% of kill participation here. But for now, let's talk about a Baron Nashor being started by UST Tigers, and PUP is just around the corner as well.
Yeah, once again, they don't have to start it. If they start it, I think they instantly lose here. Well, not lose, but they're going to blunder a lot of their lead. If they start to commit to Baron and are actually going for Baron instead of forcing PUP to go to them so they can go for a teamfight turn, I think they're just going to go for a teamfight topside as well, dealing a lot of damage against PUP. Aggressive though, going to get bubbled, backing off here as well. Have to be careful. UST, Milo, going to get healed up. But once again, the dance is all about the Baron, but PUP is the one that's doing a sidestep in this dance and going for the bot lane, the Dragon lane waves.
And no one's starting to Baron Nashor for now. I think PUP did a great job. You know what? We're here. They're stating their dominance as sort of their presence in the Baron's pit. You cannot go for it because we have aggressive that can jump into the Dragon's pit and steal it. And if we steal it, we have the Infernal, we have the Ocean, we have the Cloud. We can dominate you as time goes by because these are percentage bonuses for our team, which increases our potential later on. So I think Tigers still has that knowledge. We don't have any dragons. We cannot give this through. We have to play safe and risk-free when we're taking this massive objectives that has the potential to end this game.
Yeah, I like how USC's playing this. They know that they can't really split push. Like right now, there's no like the boots on Kaiser, not coming with that. They just have to go for a team fight, but they're not looking at every opportunity to team fight and going for it. They're looking for that perfect coup de grace team fight against PUP Cerberus Ultimate, where they can maximize the value from their team comp here. So they've been trying to dance around it by threatening Baron, but this time they can't threaten the Mountain Drake as well. But it's still gonna be tough here. PUP has to be very mindful of where they are, because UST, if they find an opportunity like a tiger, they're gonna pounce and go for the jugular.
Now I'm wondering, who's gonna win? A tiger versus a Cerberus?
I mean, one's a mythical creature, but the other, there's power in normals here, right? There's power in a normal tiger facing off against a mythical Greek monster like the Cerberus. And so far, UST, they've shown themselves to be the crouching tiger, hidden dragon kind of deal, where they're, especially considering their performance in the previous Division A last season, they couldn't quite face off against CPU, but now they're off to a good 2-0 start if they win this and tell them, okay, we are the prestigious Tigers organization that dominated collegiate play in the previous years.
Although this Elder Dragon, I think, would state it all. If Cerberus takes this, they have every single dragon in this game. But Tigers is taking
Ooh, that's bad. Aggressive taking a lot of damage, basically shuts down any chance they get of stealing this, unless UST lets themselves get poked back by the piercing arrow. So yeah, good. UST knows that they can't take too many of those piercing arrows hits. They're gonna go for the teamfight win instead, going in. Fall taking a lot of damage. He wants to go for Shoti. He wants to deny the slicing maelstrom, but the GA gets popped. And meanwhile, in the backside is gonna be, that's gonna be Kaiser coming in. He is the Emperor. He's going to come crashing down through the riverside, go on the back line, and now PUP Cerberus, their formation once again broken. They are routed, as this is going to be a 0 for 3 so far. Milo almost being taken down. Aggressive next on the chopping block, running away. They finally take down Milo. Aggressive, she jumps in, catches that like a predator, opportunistically taking away those low health members, and now UST is the one on the run here. Dragon has been denied, but it is going to end up as a 3 for 2, which is not as bad for PUP as a 3 for 1 or a 3 for 0. Good recovery.
Definitely. I mean, considering you killed Shoti, which was 10 for 11, and Milo, which was 5-1-12 a while ago. That was huge kills coming in from aggressive, and now he has full items. He can now dominate, he can get in, jump in, isolate, and take kills time and time again. Cerberus Esports, or Cerberus Ultimate, has brought this the late game. This is where they're at, and this is what they want in this game.
Definitely. But right now, the more that this Mountain Drake is a threat to both of these teams, the more that they have to like play around it. And since it is on this Dragon Lane side, PUP actually has the advantage in terms of disrupting. So I think if UST is wanting to threaten something to try and go for a turn, they might have to go for Baron instead, which risks PUP trying to take the Mountain Drake. The silver lining is that's Mountain Elder, right? So it's one of the tankiest Drakes in the game. But of course, aggressive being the Kha'Zix with full items. See how fast she can shred that Mountain Drake. So like now, I think she's just testing her damage, right? Testing her damage, see how fast her team can take it if UST threatens Baron.
But the problem is Teletigers has information. Not just one, but two. One in the river, one in the Dragon's Pit. So Cerberus Esports or Cerberus
Milo, that's sneaky.
have a hard time.
That's dirty, Milo. He's gonna go for the solo kill on the Diana. Kind of flash over the lunges to push them away. I think he's satisfied with that. Flash burn. That's a Diana with no flash. Meanwhile, PUP takes this as a Q. Maybe we can make something happen on the other side while Milo is focused on trying to take down Synthencia. So there, they put down Shoti's HP a little bit, force him to recall, and I think this is a signal for PUP to try and threaten the Mountain Elder. No, gonna go straight for a good aggressive coming in onto Lazuli. That is her prime target, but her GA is gonna get popped here. Yanni just waiting for that bubble, not gonna come through, but that's GA burnt on the Assassin here. That is a tidal wave burnt as well, but other important ultimates still up. Slicing Maelstrom still up. The Cataclysm is not up as well, so they're gonna have to wait like half a minute for that to come through. But yeah, this is tight. PUP knows that they can't let UST just threaten without a cost, right? So whenever UST tries to act up, PUP tries to poke at their other defenses. Very good play.
Yeah. And Hyron prophesized this 20-minute game already running.
Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Shoti deals so much damage to aggressive. Yeah, they're starting this and they're doing it fast. But once again, they are on blue side. No, aggressive taking so much here is bad. They have to counterattack with those piercing arrows and those void spikes. UST, they look like they're going to commit for it. In comes a Cataclysm. Lazuli is going to go down here as well. But UST does go for the full turn, slicing Maelstrom in. Yanni going to try and support the rest of his team here as well. But it might be too late as Milo and Shoti take over the team fight. Aggressive going to try and pick up. Yes, she gets her fill of sushi for the day as she takes down Yanni. But now on the run against Milo, gonna get some bug skewers right there as Milo takes him down. That is gonna be a 3 for 4 here. But UST is the one with the initiative. Kuyapol's gonna try and defend the Nexus right here, threatening him. But Kaiser sustaining himself back up. Shoti here for the backup as well. 15 seconds for the rest of the team members. Will Kuyapol be able to hold out that long is the question. Kaiser's gonna come in, Ruthless Predator, gonna go straight for the jugular. UST 2-0 with PUP getting their first loss in Division A. Very well played from both teams, however, but here UST proves to be looking to be an apex predator here in the UAC Season 3.
What a series. UST. Very, very patient. And an absolute game coming in from Shoti. That slicing Maelstrom is an absolute thunder and an electric feat, an electric skill that kill.
That was beautiful. And you kind of like this is playing to you as well, Infinity, because you were so excited to see the cannon, and here we see it play out very, very well. And I'm so happy that UST is able to get this 2-0, because they kind of fell short of their dream. Their dreams on Division A got cut short during the semifinals by CPU, and here they not only beat CPU in their first week, they're also showing strong against PUP, who has shown themselves to be a powerhouse in this division with this roster, with Kuya Fall, with Aggressive, all being able to synergize with each other. But here, UST takes 2-0. 2-0
Yeah.
so far.
So
Mhm,
far, so far.
mhm,
There's a lot more games. There are a lot more series, Hiron. We're jumping in too
mhm.
quickly.
Yeah.
Too
Whew.
quickly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man. But just take a little bit of a breather. I know that was intense for you guys as well, but I think we're gonna get into a very, very short break after this. But before that, yeah, just go to app.acadarena.com just to check out what kind of just for apply for tournaments as well. Get those promos for your organization. Check out acadarena.com/alliance for to build up your organization. Check out acadarena.com/ scholarships as well. If you're looking to get those scholarships for yourself, thanks to Globe Telecom, Logitech G, and Twitch Student, our partners and sponsors for UAC 2021. And well, I'm Hyron. With me was Infinity, and we'll be back with more Division A collegiate esports action after a very short break. Don't go away.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo. Globe. Manong fishbowl ang tao.
All right,
Hello
welcome
and
back to
welcome.
University Alliance Cup All-Star Infinity. My name is Gian Gaming. I'm here with Infinity. What's up, bro? You were saying something.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I mean, we're here for the next game. We've seen a lot of dominant games, and you know what, GG? I'm excited, and it's a pleasure to be casting with you once again for the UAC.
Yes, of course. And we're gonna be watching the game of Film Haribons versus Fate College's Brave Hearts, and this, of